Hey everybody, Motorpullet59 here. It's been quite some time since I've done a video on this channel, and the reason for that is I'm sick of politics. Absolutely disgusted and sick of it. And you know what? It isn't just the left that I'm tired of. I'm tired of a lot of people on the right. I'm tired of people tossing shit out there just because some other conservative said it without any kind of research or anything. I've seen so many things that just aren't true. And that's the wheelhouse of the left. But too many people in the right are falling into that wheelhouse. And I don't care which side it is. If you're not going to take the time to research something to see if it's actually factual or if it's been distorted or whatever, then don't post anything. I don't even want to hear it. The reason I'm making this, though, isn't about politics. It's about the government, and government specifically government departments, government entities. I became eligible for Medicare in August of 2024 when I turned 65. But my wife, Jennifer, is a Kaiser employee, and I am on her Kaiser plan. That's my primary insurance. And when you work for the railroad, you spend your career paying into railroad retirement. That's your pension. And you don't pay anything into Social Security. For the year and a half between the time I graduated from high school and the time I went to work for the railroad, I had podunk little jobs that I paid a few dollars into Social Security. And then while I was laid off, for the 3 years I was laid off, I had a couple of pretty good jobs where I paid into Social Security, but when I got ready to retire, it was suggested that I look into Social Security and see how much I'd paid into it. And I had paid in just at $3,000, which doesn't qualify me for Social Security benefits of any kind. So when you retire from the railroad and you have all the qualifications and everything, the railroad automatically enrolls you in Medicare and in Medicare Part B. Well, I didn't need Medicare Part B, so when I got my paperwork from them, I told them I don't need Part B. I'm not going to pay for it because you have to pay for Part B. I'm not going to pay for it. I have full insurance, complete coverage insurance. So they said, here's a form, sign this form, and send it back to us with your Medicare card. Send both of them back. So I did. That was in, September of 2024. Well, this past November, right now it is February 2nd, 2026. In November of 2025, I had a colonoscopy. It is the first big procedure I've had since I turned 65. And that morning, I was checking in. They said it shows here that you have Medicare Part B. And I said, no, I don't. And I explained to her the whole thing about just what I just explained to you. And they said, oh, okay, well. So I had the procedure done. Then a few weeks ago, about a month ago, I got a letter from the surgery center, which isn't a Kaiser facility. They're a contractor. And I got a letter from them saying that Kaiser had declined my claim because I have another insurance. What other insurance? Call them up. You have Medicare Part B. No, I don't. So the first thing I did was call the Railroad Retirement Board. And I said, this is what's happened, and they're saying that I have Medicare Part B. I didn't see it coming out of my pension checks throughout the last year. What's going on? And they looked and they said, you declined your Part B coverage and we're not taking anything out of your pension for Medicare Part B. You need to call Medicare. So I called Medicare and I explained what was going on to them. And they said, well, it does show that you're enrolled in Part B and you have no late payments. You're completely up to date. And I told them, who's paying for it? I'm not paying for it. It's not coming out of my railroad retirement. And so they said, well, somebody's paying for it. Call Social Security. So I called Social Security. And the first time I talked to that person, all they really told me was that, yeah, you're right, you don't qualify for any benefits, so there's no money to make payments out of this, so I don't know what to tell you. So I called Medicare back and I told them that. And they said, we don't even show you as being a railroad retiree. What? So I called Railroad Retirement back, and I screwed up on that call and said, Social Security said that they don't have me listed as a railroad retiree. And the guy said, well, that's Social Security. We don't care what they think. We know you're not qualified for any of that, yada, yada. Okay. So I figured, you know what? I will just call Medicare and tell them to unenroll me from Part B. So I called Medicare and said, just unenroll me. And they said, we can't do that. You have to go down to the Social Security office and talk to the Medicare agent there, and you have to do it that way. So I drove down to the Social Security office just to make an appointment. I knew I wasn't going to get to walk in and talk to anybody. So I went down there. There's a line out the door and a guy standing there with a clipboard. And he said, you can't make an appointment here. You have to do it online. And even then, the appointments are 2 to 3 months out, depending on your issue. So I come home and I get on the Social Security website. And it says, you may not even need to make an appointment. Answer these questions. And I don't remember what the questions were now. And there were about 5 questions. And I answered all of them as closely as I could. You know how those answers, the options they give you. And it said, you don't need to make an appointment. You can do this right here on this website. And no, I can't. There's absolutely nowhere for me to go in there and explain to them what's going on. I can't do that. So I called Social Security back and got somebody who said, I told them, where's this money coming from? I asked them, I should say. And they looked around for a minute. It was a gal, and she said, I don't know. I can see here that you are enrolled in Part B, but we don't know where the money's coming from. I can't see who's making the payments. I know it's not me. I'm not doing it. So I called Medicare back. And the gal there said, there's nothing I can do. I believe you, but it shows here that you're enrolled in Part B and it's being paid by someone. And so I told her, in the end, I don't care who pays the bill as long as I don't have to pay it. But then I started thinking, well, you know what? I don't want 10 years down the road for the Social Security or whichever government agency is in charge of this circus to come back and say, hey, wait a minute. You weren't qualified for these benefits through Social Security and Medicare. You owe us $10,000. So, which I don't owe them that much, but even if I had to pay for the whole procedure, it wouldn't be that much. But nevertheless, you get my point. I call Social Security back and voice my concerns to this person. And it's the guy, and I explained the whole thing to him. And he wanted to hear it. I told him, this is the 4th time I've talked to you people. And so he had me start at the beginning and go through everything. And he said, you're right. There's something weird going on here. He said, before you make an appointment, let me kick this up and we're going to figure out what's going on. This was 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard back from him yet. I'm going to call. If I don't hear from him in another week or two, I'll call him back. In the meantime, I have the anesthesiologist sending me letters that I owe them $500, and I talked to them earlier and explained everything to them, and they said, okay, we'll put it in the record. Don't worry about it. Let us know when you get it figured out. It seems to me that since Social Security and Medicare seem to be so closely linked, that one of them would know what the other is doing. And Railroad Retirement is more distant from Social Security and Medicare, but they are linked to the government. When I retired and started getting my pension checks for the first couple of months, I got checks before they got the direct deposit settled. They were checks from the United States Treasury. So they're all tied together. and none of them are able to communicate with each other. This is the crap that Doge is trying to deal with. This is what Donald Trump and Elon Musk and everybody else in the government that was behind supporting all that. This is the kind of waste they're talking about. Somewhere in the government, I am being given money that I don't qualify to get through Social Security. The government's just doing this. They have to be the ones paying it because I'm not paying it. It's not coming out of my pension. And if it's happening to me, you know this kind of stuff is happening to probably thousands, maybe tens or hundreds of thousands of other people. Similar things, people getting money that they're not qualified to receive, even if they're trying to stop it. They won't let us stop it. I have been jumping through these hoops now since, the beginning of January, I guess, when I really started getting into all these calls. And I can't get somebody to just say, you're right. You don't qualify for this money. And I don't understand it. I just don't understand how this kind of thing can happen. But think of all the people that are going through this who are like me, and then think of the probably larger number of people who are scamming the government. How many people this started happening to and they just said, hey, I'm getting free this or I'm getting free that. I ain't going to say anything. Those people don't care if it comes to pass down the road that the government says you owe this money. They just won't pay them. I don't know what the outcome is for all those people or what it may be for me, but all I know is I don't want this money. I didn't earn this money. I didn't qualify for this money. I have my own setup through railroad retirement, and I've been counting on that for the last 10 years as I started looking forward to my retirement. And the road retirement, who I'm still trying to get in touch with, they're very difficult to get in touch with sometimes. But it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. It's like I said, how many people are going through this and trying to save the government money, trying to get something straightened out. And they just pretty much won't let you do it. It's almost like they're fighting you and saying, no, you have to take this money that you didn't qualify for, that you don't deserve. And then all the other people who are just scamming them, and they're obviously not paying any attention. I don't know. It's crazy to me. If this kind of thing has happened to you, let me know in the comments below. What did you do about it? Even if you are a Social Security person, have you had any issues with any of this? I'd be curious to know. All right. Well, keep shooting me the ideas. Drop in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motopoet59@gmail.com. And like, share, and subscribe. And I will complain to you about something else pretty soon.